By the end of this video, you might decide you want to start cheating yourself. No matter the context, the word cheating almost always refers to something negative. When it comes to lifting weights, cheating during an exercise is generally associated with terrible form and ego lifting. However, considering that some advanced lifters use cheating as an intentional technique to build more muscle, this can't be a one-sided debate, can it? With that said, what is cheating? Generally speaking, cheating a rep is when you modify your form so that you either increase your leverage or are able to use more momentum to move a weight. This is seen very commonly with back exercises. For instance, someone using their body weight to help them during a lat pull down or twisting their entire torso while doing a machine row. In most cases, people cheat because they're using a weight that's way too heavy for them. However, cheating is also something that everyone does, at least to some degree, when trying to crank out those last few reps of a challenging set. This is because your body will always try to compensate by getting additional muscles involved when the primary ones are struggling to get the job done. This is exactly why your elbows start to raise when struggling with curls, as your front delts get involved to compensate for your overly fatigued biceps. Regardless of the fact that cheating is a somewhat unavoidable part of training hard, it still has an extremely negative stigma attached to it. Understandably, this is because cheating not only increases your risk of injury, but it also basically goes against every single muscle building principle, such as controlling the weight, isolating your muscle groups, and increasing time under tension. With that being said, however, not all cheating is made equal. For example, there is a major difference between someone letting their elbows raise a little while doing curls and someone else arching their back like a bridge while doing curls. Not only is one of those forms infinitely more dangerous than the other, but one is generally only used by ego lifters, while the other is much more subtle and instinctive. The truth is, however, that cheating can genuinely benefit your muscle growth results when used appropriately. The most obvious reason for this is how it allows you to squeak out more reps than you would have been able to do otherwise. After all, form always breaks down as you fatigue. If you were to stop every set the moment your form started to break, you never get close to muscular failure, and your muscle building efforts would suffer as a result. Of course, you can also use blatant cheating to force yourself to get more reps, such as using your hips to swing the weight up during your bicep curls. In this instance, the benefit you receive depends on how much you actually cheat. If you're letting your hips and lower back complete 2/3 of a bicep curl rep, your biceps are probably already at failure, and continuing to force more reps is just elevating your risk of injury and training completely different muscles. However, if you're only using a little bit of momentum to get the weight up past the sticking point, you're likely getting more out of each set than you would have if you didn't use any cheating at all. Now, an additional benefit to cheating reps is how it can be used as an eccentric overload technique. Since concentric contractions are always more difficult than eccentric contractions, your sets are always going to be limited by your concentric strength. Now, for example, you always fail a bench press rep when you can't push it off of your chest, which is the concentric part of the movement. If you had someone help you get the weight up, you could probably slowly control the eccentric lowering portion of the movement for 3, 4, or maybe even 5 more reps. Considering that eccentric contractions are where the majority of muscle growth stimulus comes from, the benefits of making the concentric easier so that you can get more out of the eccentrics should be quite clear. By cheating a weight up, whether that be through using momentum, adjusting your form to increase your leverage, or using one arm or leg to assist your other arm or leg, you're able to essentially go past failure. Furthermore, since your eccentric strength is on average 20 to 50% stronger than your concentric strength, a great technique you can use to overload the eccentric is to do a unilateral exercise and let one arm or leg assist your other arm or leg on the concentric. For example, if you're doing single arm cable curls, you'd use your free arm to help your working arm lift a very heavy weight up. and then remove that arm while you slowly lower the weight with just that one working arm. This could also be done on an exercise like the leg press by using 2 legs to push the weight up and only using 1 to lower it. In cases like this, cheating is used purposefully as a specialized technique. However, there is also a wrong way to use cheating like this. For instance, if you wanted to do forced eccentrics on barbell curls instead of single arm cable curls, the only way to cheat the weight up by yourself would be to use your hips and lower back to generate momentum to swing the bar up. If you were to do this using heavy weight, your risk of injury would be so high that it would never be worth doing it. Likewise, cheating to help yourself on the concentric of an exercise only makes sense if you do slow and controlled eccentrics. If you cheat a weight up and aren't able to control the eccentric on the way down, you're clearly using a weight that's far too heavy, which is just unnecessarily increasing your risk of injury. All right, at the start of this video, I'm sure most of you were under the impression that cheating is always a bad thing in the context of weight training. Now, here at the end of this video, hopefully, more of you understand that cheating is a technique just like any other. It can be done properly and be beneficial for muscle growth, or it can be done inappropriately and used for risky, ego-inflating purposes. By no means is purposeful or excessive cheating ever necessary in your workouts. However, subtle form breakdowns are a type of cheating that is unavoidable when you're training hard. Beyond this though, the decision to use this technique is entirely up to you. Just make sure that you're safe and are using cheating with a purpose in mind. If you're only using it to put more weight on the bar, your risk of injury will far outweigh any of the benefits that you probably won't receive anyway. Thanks so much for watching my video, and as always, get busy, get after it, and God bless.